colonized for 800 years. Now you come to tell me, try to convince me that it's all because of the Jews, because of the Zionists, because of AIPAC. No, we can sniff that out right away, what that is. That's blame shifting, shifting responsibility. I mean, I could go along with it too. That's the easiest thing in the world to go along with. That's what they're going to do anyway next. That's the program. That's going to become the new official narrative. Israel blackmailed them. No, the Israelis are responsible for every crime that they committed, but every crime that they committed was on your behalf, and everyone knows it. You got a people, you have never done anything but hate for centuries to commit crimes on your behalf, colonial crimes, genocidal crimes, so that you can slither your way out of accountability when the time comes. The more you big up your so-called Judeo-Christian camaraderie, the more you big up your undying devotion to Israel, well, the more you'll be able to act like you've been betrayed. And you can justify cutting them loose. I see what you're doing. No one will ever be able to accuse you of being anti-Jewish because of all the love that you expressed, all the support you gave, and all the praise that you showered on them. But genocide apparently didn't feel like betrayal. Mass murder didn't hurt your feelings. But if they've got dirt on Bobby Kennedy Jr., that's crossing a red line, is it? If they took pictures of you at Epstein Island, that's betrayal. That's dastardly. Not murdering over 50,000 men, women, and children in Gaza. You see their morality? They'll use something like this to cut Israel loose, not ethnic cleansing. And they think that they're going to be able to wash their hands of 8 decades of brutality that they sponsored, that they funded, that they armed, that they provided political coverage for. America always needs 2 things. They need an enemy to brutalize, and they need a mechanism of plausible deniability to try to maintain their image of innocence of the brutality that they commit. Oh yes, I could go along with that narrative. You know, lay all the blame at the feet of the Jews. Allah knows there's millions of Muslims who are ready to also go along with it, because they are still so enamored themselves with the West, so colonized in their own mind, so indoctrinated with their love for America, and so propagandized and so inculcated with white supremacy themselves that they can't bear to face the reality that no one has ever had to blackmail America into committing atrocities. In fact, it's the exact opposite. The only way to make them not commit atrocities is to pay them off. They've been in the protection racket and the extortion business ever since they had a navy. But I can't go along with that narrative, that blame-shifting narrative. Yes, the Israelis are guilty, but they're nothing but a bunch of white European atheist colonizers. They're nothing but a pseudo-Jewish brigade of American imperialism. That's what they are, imposing American values on Palestine. Every century that America has existed, since 1776, every century has had a higher death toll than the last. From the hundreds of thousands in the 18th century to the millions in the 19th century to the tens of millions in the 20th century, and you're already over 6 million in just the last 20 years. You don't get to be that continuously violent, that consistently savage, and that persistently psychopathic and still get to call yourselves the greatest country on earth unless that is exactly how you measure greatness. You understand? You've killed in just the last 2 decades almost half the total deaths Muslims caused through dozens and dozens of battles over 1,000 years. You know, you'll say that's because of technology, but you don't understand that that's nothing but an admission of what I'm saying. It's a confession. Because violence and brutality are made possible by 2 capabilities, the weapons and the will. In other words, there's no question about you having the will. So the more technologically sophisticated you become, it just means that the scale of your violence will increase. Because it's just a given that you're going to be violent. Because again, that's what you believe in. Those are your morals. Those are your values. Like, of course, we're going to kill. And if we have more efficient ways of killing, then obviously we're just going to kill even more. That's what you're saying. I mean, I know we'll never get the predator to own up to his predatory, bloodthirsty values, but at least the victims need to face the reality. The global South, the Muslim world, the Muslims in America, so-called minorities in America, the poor in America, everyone needs to know. A wolf's conscience is not bothered when he devours his prey. He doesn't see a victim. He just sees a meal. And he's not going to change his nature. He's got his hunting strategy, so you have to focus on your survival strategy. So at the very least, you have to recognize when you're looking at a wolf.